Jamie, I was wondering if you could expand a little bit on something you brought up earlier, how both children and parents too sometimes can react in situations, and then the kids feed off of that. And I was wondering, I think of things I struggle with a lot with very well-meaning friends and family, whether it's at an event, a party, a holiday. And people are curious sometimes, but it's sometimes it's grandma or the friend of a friend who's like, oh my gosh, look at all these allergies, and the child is right there. And I don't know if you could touch on some strategies for how not only kids but also us as parents could handle that, because I know it can be very challenging.
Sure. So yes, we can't control how other people respond, and not everyone understands. And I cook Thanksgiving, and I have like 3 different of everything, and I've certainly have had comments like that. And it is important once your child is diagnosed to speak with your family. I mean, you can't necessarily help acquaintances that come through, but if your family, if you tend to spend a lot of dinners and things with them, you just want to be able to explain, my child has a food allergy, here are the things that can happen. And actually children should know this at their own level as well, so their friends, Sally has a food allergy and she can get very sick and go to the hospital. They do need to understand that to an age-appropriate level. So it is okay to stress to your family, this is very serious, and then to ask them, Sally's sensitive to this, or we're still learning about this, can we please not talk about it? If you have a question, ask me. You can ask her also, Sally, can you have these Doritos? And we're teaching the children to say, no, I have to ask my mom or dad, right? And as a parent, it's not being overprotective to keep enforcing that and asking them to, and I would pull them aside, if they say something like that, and just say, you probably didn't realize you did this, but my daughter is very sensitive to this, so if you have any questions, can you please ask me? And yes, we have a couple of food allergies, and that's our life. Schools need to hear your voices, and so does the community, really, because it's not just school, and actually studies show that the reactions tend to occur less in school than we really think that they do. So be the voice, and not to be afraid to be the voice, because you're protecting your family. We learn to do it in an appropriate way. So, I think if we find, it's a fight, and sometimes it's frustrating if people don't understand. And that's, as far as your daughter goes, is if they're in a situation and they hear that, you can check in with them later. Sometimes they don't pay attention. A lot of times they do take it in, but they don't express their feelings because they don't necessarily understand it. So that's where you can check in later. When Aunt so-and-so said this, how did you feel? And they might say, I didn't care, and then okay. Or they might have said bad, and you can be honest and say how you felt, because that's important for them to hear too.